On the 3rd of April 1968, at the Mason Temple in Memphis, Tennessee, Martin Luther King Jr. delivered his famous "I've Been on the Mountain Top" speech. This speech turned out to be his last speech. For on the following day, on the 4th of April 1968, the icon of the human rights movement in America was assassinated. This famous speech was echoing the mountain episode where we are told Moses was taken to the mountain and shown the promised land. But unfortunately, he was told he would not make it to the promised land. There is a similarity between these two, that Martin Luther King never made it. Indeed, he had said that he had seen the promised land. It did not matter whether he went there or not, whether he made it or not. And equally, Moses was told he would not get there. So when on Thursday this week, President Uhuru Kenyatta, in delivering his State of the Nation address, he talked of the mountain. And from atop the mountain, he was seeing a new Kenya. A Kenya he described in much the same way as Martin Luther King described the new America. I got thinking. And after much reflection and thought, I saw President Uhuru Kenyatta atop Mount Kenya, at the highest peak of the mountain. And I could see Uhuru Kenyatta looking around and seeing his people of the mountain, because charity begins at home and because all politics is local. I could see him looking at his people and saying, in 2022, we are going to have a new Kenya. I may not be there in terms of leadership. Where am I leaving my people? I could see Uhuru Kenyatta from the mountain, looking around Nyeri, Murang'a, Kirinyaga, Tharaka-Nithi, Meru, Laikipia, and telling his people, I am thinking about you when I'm not in leadership of this country. You are an important component of this country. I think about you. From atop Mount Kenya, I could see Uhuru Kenyatta telling his people, listen to me, my people. I have your interest at heart. I'm thinking about your future. From atop Mount Kenya, I could see Uhuru looking into the future and seeing that that future is tied to the past of this country. I could see him standing with Raila Odinga on the 9th of March at the steps of Harambee House. And from there, he climbs again to Mount Kenya. And Uhuru Kenyatta looks back to 1963 and before that. I could see Uhuru seeing what happened in the opening years of the 1960s. I could see him looking at Jaramogi Oginga Odinga and his relationship with his father, Jomo Kenyatta. From the mountain, Uhuru Kenyatta could see the betrayal. And from the mountain, he knew that to save this country, you needed to address some of these problems. From atop Mount Kenya, Uhuru Kenyatta gazed back to the year 2002 after losing the election to Mwai Kibaki. He didn't bother about the loss. From atop Mount Kenya, Uhuru Kenyatta could see the betrayal of Kibaki, how he squandered a chance to end tribalism in this country by going against the MOU he had with Raila Odinga. From atop Mount Kenya, Uhuru could see clearly that if Mwai Kibaki had not betrayed the MOU, if he had worked with Raila Odinga, as we speak today, as I stand in this drizzle making this video, Kenya would not be the same. And therefore, from atop Mount Kenya, Uhuru Kenyatta can see a country that will be markedly different. A country, like he says, where there is prosperity. A country where you don't have to know anybody. A country where theft of public resources may be a thing of the past. Because from atop Mount Kenya, Kenyatta can look at the country and see that people steal so that they may get to power. People promote tribalism. They do ethnic mobilization. They weaponize the tribe. They weaponize sections of our community. As indeed we can see William Samoei Ruto trying to weaponize poverty, trying to weaponize the youth of this country, trying to use poverty and the suffering of Kenyans for his political ends. I can see Uhuru seeing from atop Mount Kenya that is normally the case because Kenyans organize along tribes, and you need your tribesmen. And because you need the support of the billionaire classes from Mount Kenya, for example, then they will support you to become president because you are fighting against the other community. For that reason, you will have to close one eye, if not both eyes, to allow them to rape their own country as payback. You will allow them to steal, including money meant for medicine for the sick. You will allow the thieves to steal because those thieves are the ones who put you to power and are the ones that will maintain you in power. And therefore, from Mount Kenya, I can see Uhuru Kenyatta seeing clearly that if you end the history of betrayal, if you chart a new path for this country, a new path where you don't have to mobilize along your tribe, where William Samoei Ruto will get votes from Mount Kenya, as Raila Odinga, who may be Uhuru's candidate, gets some votes from there, as Raila goes to Rift Valley and gets some votes from there with Gideon Moi. That is the kind of Kenya Uhuru is seeing from Mount Kenya. In that kind of situation, you do not have to mobilize using tribe, and you do not have to depend on tribe to go to power and sustain yourself in power. For that reason, if somebody were to steal, you will allow the agents of state, DPP, DCI, the judiciary, they will play full in terms of making this man or woman face the music, because you do not mobilize along tribe. You don't need tribe to get to power. You don't need tribe to remain in power. And therefore, if a tribesman steals, he will face the music. This is the sense of that speech. And for those who say the State of the Nation address was drab, was unstructured, did not inspire, did not even talk about the BBI, the State of the Nation address was about the future, was about the BBI more than we think. For Uhuru was saying that he can see Kenya that is being driven along the lines of BBI, a new Kenya, a Kenya where we will be different in terms of the way we do our things. And therefore, featured prominently because BBI was telling Kenyans, as indeed it is still telling Kenyans, as he talks about constructively engaging with BBI, he means we are going to get into a new Kenya, a Kenya where you will be president not because of your tribal support. They may support you. You'll be a president for all Kenyans because all Kenyans will support you when you become president. And to become president, much as your tribe may support you, because of BBI, we are ushering in a new arrangement where all Kenyans, as much as politics is competitive, where all Kenyans will have one aim of moving their country in the direction of prosperity, and that they will do without reference to tribe, but by looking at the men and women who have the capacity to move this country to the next level. And I think that is the sense of BBI. That is the sense of Uhuru's State of the Nation address, in which he can see a new Kenya, in which from atop Mount Kenya, he will see Kenyans moving in a direction of not just peace and development, but of togetherness, of being a nation, which thing has been very elusive since independence.